Hi everyone, a very happy new year to all of you. I am Garvita, rank 18 of RBI Grade B 2023, and starting today I'll be discussing my strategy on phase 1 of the examination. Let's start with the strategy on GA today. So first thing first, like we have discussed in the previous strategy videos as well, we'll start with the analysis of the previous year questions. It is particularly important for GA because there is no particular range of topics which can be prepared based on the syllabus. One needs to analyze the previous year questions to understand what all topics are being asked in GA. It ranges from reports, RBI notifications, India's ranks in different forums, different indices, sports related questions are also there, budget and economic surveys there, schemes, most importantly government schemes are also there. So if one needs to holistically prepare for GA and to score well, it is very important to analyze the previous year questions just to understand from what perspective we need to prepare for this particular exam. So once we are clear with what is covered in this particular section of the exam, we need to decide on our sources for this particular exam. I'll discuss my sources with you. I did marathons, monthly marathons on YouTube. I did it from two institutes, EduTap as well as Anwar Jindal, because in this particular exam, one needs to be very exhaustive with what one is reading. Because the range is not defined. There is no particular syllabus per se. So these two institutes marathons I did. Apart from that, there is this Cloud Affairs magazine which comes, monthly magazine. There are two versions. One is in the paragraph form, topic by topic. I was not very comfortable reading that one. So there is one other edition which comes, which has the month covered in the form of MCQs. So it was relatively easier for me to solve the MCQs or even to reverse learn from those MCQs, because I was not covering the current affairs from the perspective of RBI Grade B before I started preparing. Because I have just prepared for a couple of months for this exam. So it is very important to tune your mind in such a way that on basis of what is coming in the examination. The kind of current affairs which are being asked in other examinations is very different when we compare it to how RBI Grade B as the range of topics from current affairs. So that is that. And apart from that, there is one study IQ course which I also did, only which was specific to banking related topics, banking related current affairs, so to say. I don't remember the name of the teacher there, but it was a very good course. There were some 3 to 4 videos covering 1 month of banking related awareness. I think the course name is somewhat banking awareness by the name of the teacher, which I don't remember right now. So that also helped me a lot. Then apart from that, I think for GA, I relied heavily on mocks also for learning. Usually one solves the mocks to test their knowledge, but since I was very short on time, I solved the mocks to learn from them, because it is easier for me to learn from the MCQs. So I would give mocks, a lot of mocks I have given for GA in particular. And then I would mark the questions which I would find difficult to memorize in the mocks itself. So that is one source I would consider in this particular case. Then annual reports and other reports which are seen in the exam, I tried to cover them from as much YouTube videos as possible. So I think there are some 2-3 major coaching institutes which cover topics related to RBI Grade B. So I tried to watch the videos of each one of them. I did not pay for any budget or economic survey, any such current affairs topics. I although had EduTap's paid program, the same which I talked in my previous videos also, but I would say that they have overdone current affairs, so it was not my source for current affairs. There is way too much of knowledge, and with that limited time, I did not cover my current affairs from their course. I used the course only for the static topics. Current affairs, I was heavily relying on marathons and YouTube only. Mostly YouTube, yeah. What else? Yeah, I think when it comes to sources, that is all. Now, coming to the strategy, I think this is a very well-known strategy to be to clear the phase one of the examination, that people try to score as much as possible in GA and English, and they try to just clear the cutoff in quant and reasoning, because even managing that is difficult. So I also had the similar strategy, which I will discuss later, that it did not work out so well for me. I'll be discussing that. So I think the major problem that comes in preparing for current affairs or GA in particular is to memorize so much of information. So for that, like I have discussed before, flashcards help me a lot. I have read a few of the comments which people have posted, and someone wanted me to elaborate on how to use the flashcard. So I'll just give an example here. For example, if government schemes are to be covered using flashcards, so I would just write the name of the scheme on one side of the card, and whatever information is important from the exam point of view would be written on the other side of the card. For example, the name of the scheme, and then maybe the budget of that scheme, and then the target audience of that scheme, then the special features of that scheme, and the targets that it has achieved till now. All that information would be on the other side. So as soon as I read that scheme's name, I should be able to recollect all that information. So I would just keep on reading those cards, and I would test myself using those cards. And the other way is also very beneficial. You go through the information about the scheme, and then you try to recall which scheme are we talking about, because there are many similar schemes, like for similar objectives the schemes are there. So it is very easy to get confused in those. This is how flashcards help me. Then there is this extension um, on, I think it's a Google extension or something, where using which we can mark the points in the video, in the YouTube video, which we want to highlight. So I would go through these monthly marathons and all the YouTube content, and I would put that mark on various points in that video uh, for the questions which I would give the wrong answer to. So that also helped me in revising again and again, because after like third or fourth iteration, you don't want to go through the complete video again, and if you have those markers at that point, it is easier to just jump to those locations and just try to test yourselves on those particular questions. So that also helped me a lot. It saved my time. What else? Another trick or tip from my side would be to not blindly believe what the marathon slides are telling you the answers. I've personally found that there were a number of mistakes in those slides, which the teacher would correct in the video itself. But even when we used to get the PDF of those videos, it would not be corrected. So please make sure that you are just not reading from the PDF blindly. You keep in mind to correct it in that PDF. And once you are done with your revisions, like once you have gone through all the content at least 4 times, then you should make the notes as in only those points which you are still forgetting, and these are your notes for the last day, or like on the day of the exam, because there even going to those pointers on your YouTube video would be difficult. So for that particular day or the day prior to your exam, you should have some 2-3 sheets of notes wherein only those points are written which you are still forgetting. Apart from that, I did not make any notes in particular. I was only relying on highlighting the existing PDFs or marking my YouTube video at different points or the flashcards. Um, yeah, so one other thing which helped me a lot was I kept on listening to these videos again and again. So even when I'm not in the mood to sit and study, I would just go for a walk and still I would listen to some marathon or something. That made studying for long hours a bit easier, because it's very difficult to sit at one place and keep studying, and I did not get a very good feeling doing that. So I would go for long walks, and that helped me a lot. Apart from that, on the day of the exam, I would say that maintain your calm, especially in GA, because what happened was I had talked to a couple of friends before about GA part of the exam or the overall exam, and they had told me the same strategy, that GA would be used to increase the score, and so much so that people even score in 70s out of 80, and that this exam alone is enough to clear the cutoff, the overall cutoff, and then rest of the sections you just have to pass the sectional cutoff. But when I saw the exam, saw the paper in 2023, I was not sure of, I think not more than 15 questions out of the 80 questions. And then I was giving the exam for the very first time, so I thought that maybe my sources itself were not correct, because other people in previous years have found it so easy that they're scoring in 70s, and I'm not able to recall anything. But I think what worked was to keep my calm and do as much as possible, as much as I can. I had almost like spoiled my GA, and had it impacted my other sections, then it would have been very difficult to clear the exam. So what I'm trying to say is that start each section with a very, very fresh mindset. Don't let that spill over to spoil other sections. So that is something one needs to keep in mind. So for me, it went so bad that after coming out of the exam hall, I called a friend of mine who was also giving the exam, and I told her that probably I'm the only candidate in history who would clear other exams, but like GA would be the problem for me, which has never happened with anyone. Quant or reasoning is what is difficult for most of the people. But luckily, I could clear the cutoff, because cutoff is not that much even in GA. So I think it's time to reflect on this strategy also, to be able to clear the exam comfortably. I think quant and reasoning, I understand that it's on the tougher side, but even in these two, I think reasoning is still very much doable. So relying completely on one subject is not very advisable. English, GA, and reasoning, all three together should be considered um, as the scoring subjects. And quant, maybe it has been difficult throughout the years, so there we can still say that it cannot boost our score, but there at least we need to maintain the minimum cutoff. uh, so yeah, I think that is all from my side for this video. um, yeah, I think we have covered everything. So if you have any particular doubts related to GA, do let me know in the comments. uh, One very basic thing which I forgot to tell you was to cover the current affairs for the last 4 to 6 months. I covered for all 6 months, and I took, I think, 4 to 5 days in my first go for each month. So try to do it in that pace only. Don't take too much time for each month, and do it in the order of latest month being first one. So that helps, because from the latest months only most of the questions are being asked. There's no point doing 1 year of current affairs, and also many people are asking me this question that should they start, like I was getting these questions in even in September October wala time frame, that should they start preparing GA for the next year's attempt. It's a big no. If you have time, please prepare your other subjects, your static subjects, strengthen them. So revise and revise and revise again and again, and to a stage that you are able to cover 1 to 2 months of current affairs in a day only. That should be the goal. And yeah, I think practice as much of questions as possible. Because sometimes we read the information in paragraph form, but when the question comes in the current affairs in the MCQ form, it is difficult for the mind to comprehend the answer, the correct answer. All the statements seem similar or something of that sort. So it is important to keep your mind in that zone, in that frame, to be able to solve the MCQ format of the questions. So yeah, I think that is all from my side. If you have any doubts, please post on the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you all. Thank you very much.